Okay, I think we should be live. Alright. Yeah, I think we're live. Looks like it. So, it's GitHub. Alright, so today we're going to be working with Svelte again. I feel like I'm going to be getting behind with Svelte if I don't, with the front end stuff, if I don't start working on it more and just focus all my time on Rust. Also, I want to get ahead with, well, I want to create the, I want to create the documentation as sort of the planning for the API. So what I want to do is get all or most of the documentation created, then go back and work with Rust. So on my schedule where it says I'm working with Svelte or Rust, it might be loose. So you might switch those some days. So we'll see going forward. But all right, where are we? We were creating. It's a lot of nesting. But anyway, we've got. All right, let's check out our page. Docs / API. Ah, it's wrong one. It's not 8,000. 5173. There we go. Okay. All right. First thing I think I want to work on today is getting this working right. I thought I could do it quick last time, but I couldn't. So basically, I think, let's check the code for this. So this page.svelte and that's our aside. So I think what we need to do is we need to make the aside. Give that. Can't, but we need to keep it at the top. So I was thinking that we give it a height of 100 view height. And then but then it will scroll past it. So we want it fixed, but still keeping up, maintaining its have static positioning. That's what I want to say. So if we give it fixed, then this is going to stretch across the whole thing, and this is just going to overlap on it. I think. So I think what I'm going to want to do is I will give this a position fixed, but we're going to have to fix that up. So our side gets position fixed, top 0, right 0. And then we need to give the container a position of relative. So that works. Actually, I could do it without that, but I'll keep it. So yeah, now you can see what happens here is that just doesn't affect the rest of it at all. It will just overlap it, which is not what we want. So what we're going to do is create another sort of little hidden div here. We'll call it hidden aside, I guess. This isn't the most elegant solution, but it is something that will work. Hopefully I'll think of a better way to do this. So, hidden side, and this one. So, basically gonna give it the sizing properties the same as the other one. Alright, 100 view height, but we're not gonna give it a position. Now, what that should do is they should both occupy the same space. The hidden aside will take up the space, whereas the actual aside will stay where it is, the way it is. So, hopefully, still got an issue. Okay, yeah. So the width is an issue because we're just using max width, which means there's no content, so it'll just stay small. So I think we're gonna go with, at least for now, max width, or we'll just change that to width. And then if we open this, we've still got an issue here. Let's see. So hidden aside. Oh, because it's inside of the aside. Yeah, that's not gonna work. It's got to be outside of it. Let's try that. We got the start of it. So let's check this. Okay, we've got our aside is there. It's too large, but okay, we'll look into that. Our hidden aside is, why are these different sizes? So is I'm trying to think here. So this is our actual aside. This both got width 50%, height 100 view height. Oh, because the width of this is, because this is position fixed, the width, no, it would still be the container. There's still, no. Okay, I think maybe if I do absolute instead, still, okay. Well, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. They both have the same parent. So which one is wrong? One of them has to be wrong. So layout. So the parent has a width of 1369. Is that correct? I always get these mixed up. Is that height and width? Yeah, I think so. So 1369. So 706.75 or something should be the width. So for the hidden side, it's 964. I think I got that mixed up. For the actuals, 964. Yeah, okay. And the width is the first one. So it should be 611 is 50%. That's wrong. That's correct. So our actual aside is correct. Our hidden aside is incorrect. Why? So it doesn't make any sense. How could the hidden aside, the only thing affecting it is a width of 50%, and its parent has a width of 1222. So this has a width of 1222, but then 50% of that is 364.15. I don't think so. What if we turn... What if we just change this to 100%? What happens? Then it goes to 538. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I think, I bet you it's because this main is competing for size. So let's try. Svelte conditional style. I think this is it. Oh yeah, I want to solve this. So class flip. Is there a flipped? Class flipped equals flipped. That's gonna be false. That looks like a really cool playing card. I would buy them. But anyway, so this is flipping that. But what's the class that it... So it applies the default card class here, but... card dot flipped right there. Yeah, okay. So it'll apply this class if this is true. Got it. Excuse me. So let's create a class. Width 50. Width 50%. So by default, our hidden aside will have width of 0. By default, our main will have a width of 100%. And let's see, here we'll do class width 50 equals show side, and the same thing for main, class width 50 equals show aside. Why did it do that? Alright, let's see how that does. Okay, so let's see. Our hidden aside. So the container is... Oh, but wait, the container... Yeah, that doesn't work because this is over here. Alright, what's the size of our menu? What we can probably do is dynamically create the menu size, menu width, and then do some calculations to get the okay, so the width of our menu is 250 pixels. So what I want to do, get rid of that. We will set the width here at menu width is 250, and we'll pass this in here. So width equals menu width, and then now we have to have a script here, and export width, and just a moment. Alright, sorry about that. Okay, anyway, so, current. Alright. Is set style width Width. Right. And then here, I'm honestly not sure if I can use these variables in this style, but I'm going to give it a try. So, what we're going to do is make, so the main will be, instead of 100%, it will be, we'll do a calc, 100% minus, menu width. And then this will be calc 50% minus menu width divided by 2, because there's 2 elements now. So, wait. No. This is not right. It will be 50%. I think that's right. My mind is not working well right now. We'll see. And then we're gonna have to have, I'm not getting any errors, so this is gonna be the same. 50% minus menu, menu width divided by 2. And the hidden side width will be 0 original. Yeah. Shit. Let me check. Svelte variable in CSS. I gotta use var, and then that. Wait, no, what? Huh? That fucking took forever. Div style. Oh, you've gotta declare it in there. Not the worst thing. The idea is to have just one variable here for the menu width that I can then that wouldn't work anyway. Yeah. So if I want to change the size of the menu, I can just change it in one place. So this will work. I don't love it, but it'll work. Just put it here since it's a variable. Dash menu width will be menu width pixels, and then instead of this we use var dash right, dash menu width. Or we've got that. We're gonna work, apparently. Ooh, yeah, there we go. Now we're getting what we want. Awesome. Yeah, our problem was so we were setting these each to 50%, but then we had a menu, and they're all part of that. So you had 50% and 50%, which would be the entire, which is 100%, obviously, plus this space over here for the menu, which doesn't work right. So, example, is this 250? That is not. That is not. Why is it not going to 250? Element width 250. What's your issue? Oh, but width is 250 instead of 250 pixels. There we go. Now, boom, looks good. This is a bit bigger than we want it. That's okay. You can adjust that. Oh, but okay, that's not moving with it. I think what I want is to go back to fixed here. Yes, perfect, perfect, perfect. Alright, let's open this up. So I'm thinking 60-40 maybe. So 60 and 40. Because this is quite large as a percentage. There's a lot of space here that we may... no, because this... There's a lot of space to the right here that we don't need. Alright, let's just start switching this to 60-40, which is a pain because one won't work anymore. So let's rename this to main split, and this will be side split. I suck at naming things, but whatever. Okay. So, main split. We're just gonna yoink this. I don't know why I didn't grab width as well, but whatever. And change this to 60. And then a side split. Place this at 40. And we'll replace that with 40. I think that's good. Got overflow here we've got to deal with. Right. And the hidden aside, I want to make it so it doesn't go over like that, so it ends at the side there. So that's our pre that we need to style. Shit. So that has to be done in each So user example .svelte, our pre needs to have solid width of 100%. That's not doing it. Let's figure out why. Maybe it's the code. Alright, so pre. Oh, it is doing it. It is doing it. It's just hard to see. What if I set this to 90%? Yeah. Okay, we're kind of getting what we want there. I'm thinking something like 98 here. I think that's good. Now we need to deal with our wrapping situation. First of all, I think we can make our size smaller. See what that looks like. I think that's okay. Our color. That does look obnoxious. Much better. Alright. Wrapping text is always a pain. Text wrap. CSS wrap overflow text. Let's see. Hidden, that's not what we want. Overflow wrap. Overflow wrap, maybe. CSS overflow wrap. Let's see what our options are for this. Normal, anywhere, break word. Let's try break word first. Overflow wrap. Break word. Work word. And didn't seem to do anything. Let's increase the text size just for now so we can definitively see that. Okay. So how about, I have a feeling this overflow wrap is just not working. Overflow wrap. What's the other option? Anywhere? Yep. Yeah, it's not doing anything. Word break. This property will break the word at the point it overflows. It will cause a break, even if placing the word into another line would allow it to display without breaking. A very long word that has no breaking possibilities. A very long word that has... Okay. Neither of these are working, though. Well, I mean, I can try word break. But... word break, break all. Word break. Break all. Yeah. No, I don't think that'll work. So none of these work, they say. Okay. Wondering if so maybe it's the container. Word break and code block. Maybe it's because it's code. Did I write text in a pre-tag? So white space pre-wrap. Space pre-wrap. And word wrap break word. Word wrap break. See if that works. That works. It's not pretty, but it does in fact work. Word break keep all, maybe? Work better. It's no different. Let me see. Oh, excuse me. Go back to the strike box and see what they do for the style for this. So they have what's the font size they're using, because it's perfectly readable. Fonts. It's 14 pixels. And they have a ton of space there. Could do this. Oops. That'll help. Oops. That helps. Yeah, they just don't have anything real long. It's full screen, then there's plenty of space. And this is not a big monitor, so need to stand up, I think. All right. I think that's good for now. Something I actually want to do is go back to our global CSS, and for everything we're going to set a color as well. RGB 200, 200, 200. Alright, that's applied to... I think it's applied to... It still looks white to me, but... H1. Yeah, okay. It does look better, but... Now I can go through and get rid of that anywhere I see it. Okay. What else did I want to do here? So it's looking pretty good there. Now, what I want to do, so if I come down here and click this, then it closes it. Which I want to display the other one instead. So what we're going to do so this is not necessarily relevant anymore. So if show aside is equal to not show aside, so if it's false, then we can just do show aside equals true, and current aside equal to event.detail.current aside. Else, so if it's already showing, then what we're going to do is if current aside is equal to event.detail.current aside, then we'll just hide it, show aside false. So if the current one we clicked on is the same as what's already showing, then we hide it. Show aside equals false. Actually, we want to show aside equals false. Else, so if that's not true, then we leave show aside and we set current aside equal to event.detail.current aside. That should do it. We'll see if we can refactor that to be a little bit better, but so this it's not working at all. Okie dokie. Alright, what did I do wrong? So show aside is false, then just show it. Just creating some log statements to see what all is running and what's happening. So click this, false if. Oops. So getting show aside is false, and we're getting if. Should set show aside to true. Current aside. Yeah. Whoops. Oh, forgot to get rid of that. There we go. That closes it. Open. This should switch, which is blank for this one. Click it again, it closes. Click. I click here. Shows that one. Click it again, close it. Cool. So that's working. Now, so here we can do, instead of, we can do an else if, and then else. So this would be, we'd have to do it up top as well. I think this is fine. Honestly, you could shorten that, make it better, but it's quick and easy. This makes sense. It's easier to read, honestly, than something that's maybe more clever. And I just don't want to deal with it. So that'll work. Alright. Is there anything else I want to deal with here? I think that's it. Next thing is just going to be creating this example. Sounds good. Alright. Not refactoring. Update style and functionality on examples. Alright, I'm going to take a quick break. Just want to stretch and grab something else to drink. So I'll be back in just a few moments. And we're back. Alright. So we got our example sidebar there working the way we want it to. Now, what we're going to do is create our example for so let's check this. So create user examples. All right. So what we're going to do already example button, create user.svelte, user example, user object. So now we're going to have, well, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to go back and reorganize these folders, because this is a bit of a mess. I need to organize it better. So let's just create create user example dot svelte. And let's go back to this for a second. So you create user. So this is sending up got our example button. Create user. Yeah, okay. So create user is what's going up. So what we do is we add an else here. If I remember correctly, it's like this. We're going to do an else if. Print aside equal to create user. Then we'll do create user example. I've got to import this. And then now we can go back to this. Create user example svelte so that we can create it. Up here I'm going to pull up user example as an example to look at so I can sort of copy what I need to, which is nothing really. It's just the HTML and any style I need. Okay, cool. So here's what we're going to do here. So we need two things. There's going to be, so for the user object, we've just got an example of the user object and the data that it generally contains. For creating user, we're going to need to display an example of the body and an example of the response. So, what we're going to do here, I just realized a structure flaw. I'll get back to that later. So here, create user is going to be, we're going to have one, we'll give it an H3. This will be body. We'll call it request body. This create user doesn't require auth. And then there's going to be another one, response body. And then here we'll do our pre code /code and /pre. So here what we're going to have is the request body, which is JSON. So we need to do this. This. And this. Oops. So let's open this over here. Oops. And create. Okay. So create body, email, password, confirm password, last name. Is that what we put over here? Yes, it is. All right, so email. Okay. Password. Confirm. Password. First name. Last name. So John Smith at mail.com. Password, we'll just password 23. Password 123. John and Smith. It's number 1, number 2, 3. Oops. And then response is just going to be a response user. Correct. Let's just check the code. Okay, response user. All right. Okay. ID, email, first name, last name. ID. We'll just steal that over there. Oops. It's underscore ID. Yoink. Email john.smith@com. Email first name, last name. First name John. Last name Smith. Actually, I want to change something. What I want to do is add some uppercase in the email to be clear that it's going to be lowercase. I should probably put that. Probably put that in the docs specifically instead of just right here. I'll get to it. All right. Status, avatar, and default location. Status. So at this point, it'll be email. Or not, unverified. Unverified. Avatar. What are we gonna get for that? So avatar is an option. It's not going to be set at this point. No. So I think, yeah, I'm going to put in, so this should, so what I want to do is our avatar at first should not be, no, actually it shouldn't be an option at all. There should always be an avatar. So even when you first created your, a user is first created, they don't have to add the avatar, but we have a default one sitting in our server for them. So by default, they use the default sort of little profile guy. So /API/ avatar / default .webp. So that should be the default image for everybody when they first sign up, and then they have the option to change it later. Avatar and default location. Default location will be same as over here. That's it. Now I just need to style it. Should be similar to our other one. So pre. Background is RGB 427.6. Border radius 15. Adding 515. 5 pixels. Size is 14. Line height. I realize that we shouldn't be like copying this stuff. We should have a component or something like that for this, which I'm going to get back to. That was something I mentioned earlier if you were here. I mentioned that there's some structure things that I got wrong. So we're doing a lot of copying here. Gonna come back to fix that. Line height 26, width 98%. Color, I think we can leave that out. In fact, let's delete that from here. White space pre-wrap and word wrap keep all. Alright, let's see what this looks like. Ah, yes. We're gonna need container. And container, display, flex direction. There we go. Looks pretty good so far. Let's do justify content space around. Okay, we're gonna need to give this a height 100%. That looks pretty good. Although we're gonna need more divs because I need to put these need to be put together. And better. Now I want to style these H3s. And I already have a general idea in my head. That what I want is, let's just do a background of gray for now. Spell it correctly. And border, I think it's border top left radius in pixels, or border top right radius 10 pixels. That's the general idea of what I want. Right. That means I've got to fix this pre down here. So it's the border radius here. Border bottom left radius 15. We're going with 15 pixels. And border bottom right radius 15. All right, looks reasonably good. A few issues, of course. So the widths do not match. Why is that? H3. So the width, set to 98%. Width 98%. Sample. Okay, we're good. Now we've got this here, which is kind of hanging over there a little bit, which is easy to solve. We just give our H3 a bit of padding left. Let's, what, 10? See how that looks? That looks good right there. That looks good. Now, this is... Why do we have a huge space over here? That's interesting. Are we... We have the same thing up here? We do not. Why do we get that going? Oh. Oh, when I... Yeah. Okay, I see. When I indented it, I indented this as well, and it needs to not be indented. There we go. And looks good. Hate the wrapping, but for now that's gonna have to do. I want to change this. I wanted a nice dark gray. Let's go color picker and how about RGB 40. Darker. Let's try 20. That's way too much. 30. Oops. I think that's good. I think that's good like that. So this is good. Ooh, I should probably put a title up at the top in case you keep this open. Oh. This could actually be an issue as this gets longer. Because if you do that, you got a lot of stuff up here. It's really going to move the page, move what's on the page. I think I can fix that, no problem. But I'm not going to deal with it right now. That's a later issue. Alright, so. Title. Why is that not? It's not taking up the full width. Like it should. Oh, because my container is not. There we go. So for that H1, let's just do position absolute. width 100%, text line center, and on the container, let's put a relative. Yeah, absolute, so top 0, and well, it's left 0. There we go. Alright, so top should actually be, let's say 35. 35. Looks good to me. Good enough, at least. So let's come over here and do similar. User object. Just do it again, need a container. Alright, the container is going to be display flex direction column, and we are going to do justify content center, height 100%, width 100%, and position relative. I'm doing this the same just so we've got the same effect on both of these. I really do need to turn this into a single like component or something, or a slot, something like that, so I'm not typing this every time, but I'm just doing that for now. So position is absolute, top 35 pixels, left 0, 100% width, and center it. Alright, good. That kind of looks like shit, but sticking with it. Yep, that works well. So save that. So for this, we example for user creation, minor updates to side style. Actually, I need to push this. One. Started using Proton Pass for my password manager, and it displays. I've got my get access code in a note, and it just displays notes by default, so I can't have to do it in another browser on another page because it will expose that password here. It's stupid. Anyway, let's Git push dash u origin, create documentation. Okay. And another short break. And we're back. Alright. Let's see. Oh, I'm gonna have the same issue here. Just realized. Alright. So what I want to do now... a little bit of refactoring and organization. So one thing I've just now realized, I don't know why. So if we look at this, we've got the aside and then the main here. So this should all be inside of main. Well, so the user should have a main and then an aside. So instead of these being separate things, we need to create them together. So, actually, well, that could be an issue. Because if we're creating one, just this space over here, then that doesn't work. Because there would be an aside on each user that each one has. Yeah, that actually doesn't work now that I think about it. Because it's got to be this page that handles it. Shit. So if that whole thing is the user, so I'm trying to see if there's a better way to do this. So if this whole width here is the user, and we split it up, pass these in, yeah, that's not going to work. So it does have to be like this, because the user, because that main page has to control the aside. So this page right here has to control the aside, and it can't do that properly if it's in the user, because we're going to have other of these, user, location, other stuff like that. So this has got to stay like this. Is there a better way? Because right now, excuse me, I've got a lot of duplication. Because user example and the create user example, the style for the pre-tags, it's and a lot of the stuff is pretty much identical. Which, thinking it's not ideal, but I think that's the way to do it. Because theoretically, we want to be able to display literally anything we want over here, you know? Yeah, most of it'll look like this, and there'll be a lot of copying, but this section is separate. So I want to keep I want to keep them all separate, because they could theoretically be, could have literally anything over here. Okay, so that was correct, the correct way to do that. But, what I do want to work on is folder structure. So, I'm going to use this instead of Vim, because I don't like that in Vim. So, source, routes, docs, API. So right now, we have Why are these different icons? They're all Svelte. Whatever. So this is where our actual stuff is. This is our actual page. So I'm thinking here we have user. For everything related to the user. And then components would be things like the menu. Or is there any other? The example button. Object property. Yeah, I think we'll do that. So create new folder. This will be just user. Yeah, user. Open up another instance of this. Put it off the screen here. So code. And then alright, so we're gonna take create user example, user example, user object. And this is all going to go over into the user file. And these two remain here, as well as we're going to bring the menu up into components. So, and I think that's it. I think that's good right there like that. So you can see we've got all of our user stuff here. And later on there'll be a location, folder, what are some of the other things in here? User, location. I mean, honestly, that's primarily it. And then our components, and then the main page. Okay, I think that works. But now, unfortunately, I've got to go and update all the crap. So the global is fine. Menu, this is coming from dot components / menu. The user is now coming from user example from user. And then create user example from user. And we're going to open up menu. Oops. Ah, crap. Service routes. And menu. This isn't importing anything. So next is user. Let's just go straight through this. So example button, nothing. Object property, nothing. User object property. So this is going to be dot / components. And same with this one. Components. And hold on just a moment. Okay. Fixes that. User example. Good. User object. What is this? A user? User object. Oh, yeah, this is right. Sorry, I just got confused for a second. So this is dot slash dot slash. Yes, these are still correct. User example, nothing to worry about. User object. All right, these will be from dot dot slash components and dot dot slash components. Fit for user. I think that's everything. All right, let's refresh. Okay, we're still getting an error. Which one are we? Let's paged us. Failed to load components. Oh, dot components. I made a mistake there. Yeah. And we're good. And everything seems to be working as we want it. Alright, cool. Let's save this. Reorganize API doc code. All right, good. Next. What's our next route? So create user. Let's next do get user. That should probably be number one, but whatever. All right, let's start with the menu. A classical sub. So this one requires, this is the first route I'm dealing with that requires authentication. So we'll have to mark that in there somehow. But I am going to create another page for authentication documentation, just how to authenticate a user. But not right now. I mean, there's nothing crazy about it. It's just JSON web tokens, so pretty simple. All right. So we've got that in our menu. Let's go to new page. And nope. Go to our user file, and this is import get user from slash get get user dot soap. Need a divider. And get user on display aside. Now let's create our file in our user. And let's also open create user as an example. Okay. So we are going to need these two. Object example button. Okay. Now, we do want our container. So H2, get user. Yep, then we want code, class, route, span, class, method. And this is going to be a get route at /API /user / and then we're going to use our carrots for this user ID /code. That's going to create a let's wait and see. And we need a break. And our example button. Get user on display aside. H3 parameters and just gonna need the one object property is user ID type string and description will be unique ID of the user whose data is to be retrieved. Now we have to mention, I'm going to start just putting a p tag here. Call it auth. Actually, let's make this a href. I don't have a route yet, but let's /doc/ let's just go with that. Right, because this is doc /API, so docs auth. And then this will be auth required. Down. Pretty good already. A little bit of styling needed, but otherwise we're good. Even this is still working. There's just nothing there. Is there anything else we need to add to this? Nope, just the style, it looks like. Oh, I need to add you know what? I can reuse some of this. But I do need to I think I need to add the response data. Yeah, I've been leaving out. So basically, I need uh like this. Yeah, parameters I'm telling it, but I need the response as well. Okay, I'll add that in a bit. And I just realized that these, so I can reuse this. So instead of get user, how about create user? Actually, no, I can't because because they're not the same. Because I need to put the parameters in this as well. Did I do that for the other one? Response. Thinking. I don't. I just put like user. Type. User. Description. User. Object. Let's just leave that for now. If there we go. So I mean, let's see how. So what I'm thinking about is just that if we're returning a user, user is going to be the same every time. I mean, each user is different, but the user object is the user object. It's what you're going to get from these things. So there's no need to write out everything. We already have an example of the user object here. They see what it is. And I'll still put in an example here for them. So when they click on this, they'll still get the example. But I can just say user here because we know what that is. Either that or I spell it out every time. Let me see what they do. So create a customer, returns, they don't even, returns the customer object after successful customer creation. Yeah. They just kind of tell you what it returns. They don't even give you a description of what it returns. So if this returns the customer object if the update succeeded, throws an error if update parameter is invalid. Yeah, I mean, they're not. I think, yeah, I can do that. Alright, cool. So, but if we do it in this style, so the same way we do for like the body, for example, then our issue is that it looks like there's something called user, but there's not. It's just the user object. I'll do the style this first and then come back to it. Okay. So not a lot of style needed. So container, a little bit of padding. H2 margin 150015. H3 screen margin 350015. Font size of 16. Route the margin left 15. Font size 16. And method margin right 25. Alright, that looks okay, but we have our auth. You don't need that anymore. Yes, we do. And we also need it here. Good. Auth, margin left 15. Did I not save it? It is. That's what I called it, right? I gave it a class of auth. Oh, I forgot to do that when I switched over to an A tag. There we go. Here we go to a 404. Good. I think I'll make it the same size as the example. Font size 14, I think it is. No. Eh. It doesn't make it 13.33. I'm just going to go with 14. It's fine. I like it. Okay, what's next? So, created the user. Get user dot. Oh yeah, let's. Okay. I think. So for this, we'll say user object. And I don't think we can get that mixed up because there's a space in it, so it's not like a variable name. Type is user. An object containing the data, containing all of the data for the user. Okay. Needs an ID. There we go. Okay. I think that's good. Can always come back and tweak some things later. Now, what I want to create is get user example of Svelte. And create user example here. Okay, so we need an overall container. I'm gonna call this get user. Div. Just to clump these together. We'll call this URL example, I guess. Example URL. Got 3. Code. And this annoying shit. Oh wait, we don't need that annoying shit. All we need is we're gonna put this as GPS cosphere.work slash AP no. User, oh my god, I'm losing my mind. Such API slash user slash, and then let's go grab John's ID. Okay. Div. Fonts body. Three. Our response is going to be our user again. Just copy and paste this crap. It's just this. Good. And our style. I'm just going to copy and paste all this. And then take out anything I need to. So the container, H1, H3, pre, yeah, that's all necessary. Like that. Probably, I think I'm missing some stuff. So I think we gotta go wrong one. So import get user sample from /user/ get user example.svelte. All right, good. Then we need to add it in here. Else if current aside equals get user, then we can do get user example. That should hopefully work. Did I click on auth? I think I did, yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Looking good. One thing that I want to address is there's tons of space at the top and bottom of this. What is that? What's going on here? What are we doing? 926. Don't have a height. It's not the padding. It's not really the line height. White space. Okay. Word wrap keep all isn't doing shit. Why do we have that? Is it the code? No, the code's relatively small. It's just the text. CSS pre has a white space. Probably not the best way to word it, but whatever. Oh, I betcha. Let's do a little experiment here. Might be. See if that makes a difference. Because I'm adding in a whole line with that. Okay, it seems to have made a difference on the top. It removed a line. Maybe one on the bottom as well. I've got this weird fucking indent. I'm guessing that's from code. And there we go. That's much better. Might add a little padding top and bottom, but yeah, that's the way it should be. Okay. So, we can fix this pretty easily. And now it is known for the future. Oops. Boom. Much better. Yep, I like that. It's a lot cleaner. Okay, we'll go back and fix those in just a minute. First, let's... Is that everything? I think that's everything. Right. Create documentation for Git user. Okay. Things are going faster now because we're getting we got the style and the organization mostly hammered out here. So all we gotta worry about for the most part is content, which is quick and easy because I already know 90% of it. I do want to go back and fix these issues here. So let's go source components user, create user example. And the other one I need to fix is user. And I'm also going to need to fix user object as well. No, user object is okay. Yeah. All right. Now these should all be good. I do want to add a title to that as well. Looks so much nicer with a little title there. Awesome. User example and x3. This is going to be user object. That to be lowercase. And then we just need to add in our style for that. Width 98. Background RGB 35. Border top left. Radius 15 pixels. Border top right. Radius 15 pixels. Padding left 10 pixels. How did I just do? Yes, added title here. Good, but I need to change this as well. Border bottom left, radius 15. Border bottom right, radius also 15. Do that, and we're good. There we go. Looks good to me. I'm not a designer, but thinking this is looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Could always be better, but looking good. Let's actually set that to active. I think that's just a better example. That is get user example. Okay. Save this. We'll just call it minor style fixes. All right. Taking another break. Then we'll come back, and when I get back, what I will do is we'll work on our next route, whatever that may be. Maybe updating the user. Maybe. We'll see. But I will be back in a few minutes. Alright. Sitting back down now until I start yawning a bunch again. But, okay. So, next route. Next route. Alright, we've done. Let's do update user. Nope. Okay, so first thing, menu. We'll add update user. Good. Update user.svelte. Or update user from /update user.svelte. We'll add our divider. And then our update user, which will send this message. Okay, now that we've got that, let's check out get user for an example. Oops. All right, script. Import object property from components object property svelte or example button from components / example button dot svelte. Div our ID is update user. Class is container. So h2 update user code class route span class method. This is going to be a put /API /user. Ow. We need to put in the full route, not just HTTPS sphere.work /API /user /user. Wait, I never checked if that is displaying correctly. Right here. That is not. Okay. Okie dokie. Let me try. User ID. That probably won't work either, but I'm gonna try it. Code and right. Attributes need to be unique. code classes route, and I need to, yeah, expected valid tag name. Yes, I can't have to escape that, so to use those carrots. HTML use use left, right, caret. Oh, CARET. Escape left, right, caret. Angle bracket without triggering HTML code. That's what I want. Less than, greater than. So, and this, I think this is less than. Yes. Okay, cool. And then, and greater than. Correct. Looks good. Next, a class equals auth href https postsphere.work slash. I don't need that here. This is a link. Slash doc slash auth quad. Sample button. Okay, so here, yep, parameters, object property is their ID, type, string, description, unique ID of the user whose data is to be retrieved. Right. Request body. So for this, location, first name, last name, only things. All right. Property, location, type equals string, optional, description, ID of the location that will be set as the users. Yeah. Users. Is it apostrophe S? I think so. Location. Who knows though? I'm a fucking idiot, so God knows if I'm right. Alright, what I wanted to fix them. We're gonna change this to default location. And then get property, location and first name. Properties first name, type string, optional, description, updated first name for the user. One more. Last name, type string, optional, description, updated last name for the user. Okay. Got all that. Next is our response. Response body. And we're just sending the whole user, correct? Everything's okay. Whoa. Supposed to be, but we're not. Alright, yeah. So this will return. So this is just gonna do the same as last one. Property. Property. User object. Type. User. Description. What did I put for here? An object containing all of the data for the user. Object containing all of the data for the user. And I think that's everything but style. Let's go ahead and add that in, which is that it? Yeah, it is. Yoink. Container H2. We have an H2. Yes. H3 route, method, and auth. Okay, so I think that's good. Why? Okay. Alright, there we go. Update user. So there's our route. Auth required. Example, not ready yet. Parameters. Request bot. These need to be a bit larger, I think, because it's not clear that they're separate. So that's H3. Let's see if 18 makes a difference. Even that's not big enough. If I can make if I made the other stuff smaller, I think that might be okay. So that would be... Oh, that's controlled in the object property, so that makes it really easy to do that. So the property description and the property name need to be updated. Wait, what? No. Property description. What? Property name is 12 pixels? Oh. I see. See how that looks. I like that, but I want this to now be smaller as well. Too small. I think that'll do well. Okay. That looks good enough to me. Now let's create our example. So what we're going to create is update user example Svelte. And we'll use get user example. So this is going to be update user. Then we'll have div. This first one is going to be the example URL. Free code yes postsphere.work I user slash. I gotta just grab this whole line. It's actually probably easier than I do. And I think I need to put in post here. Sorry, put for this one. Okay. Div. And this will be request body. code free. So, location. I'm just gonna change this up a little bit. You know what? Grab something entirely different. JSON object ID. Just give me one. Just give me an ID. I just want an example ID. Screw it. Oh, my database isn't on. Yeah. Generator. Alright. There we go. That works. Alright. Okay. Location. This is JSON, so location. First name. Change it to Jonathan. Jonathan, is that how you spell it? Yeah, I think so. Right. Now, one of the things I'm thinking about, should I leave out last name just as a way to show that it's optional? I think so. I think that's a good idea because, yeah, we don't need all of them. Yeah, I think that's good. And then, oops, here, div h3 response body free code again. All right, we need the full body. I'm just gonna grab this. Okay, then we just need to change this up a bit. Why isn't... maybe we'll add an email later. Jonathan. And... good. Spelled something wrong. So that's let's finish this first, and then we'll fix that bug. All right, style now. Wait, what am I doing again? Just yoink this. And this, everything's here, so good. All right, I need to fix a bug. This is an update user. What's our issue? Property description. What? A new CSS selector dot property description. Oh no, this is something else. Okay. It's an object property dot svelte. Property description. Just desk. Just gonna restart this for good measure. And all right, let's see. The user, this looks good. Our example is non-existent. That's right. We have not added the necessary things in there. So let's here import update user example from /user /update user example dot svelte. Then here another else if current aside is equal to update user, then update user example. I think that's all I have to do. That should be working, and it is. Example URL, request body, response body. Excellent. Looks great. All right, let's save this. Create route for updating user. All right, now what I want to do is go back through and fix a few things. First, so the object properties, these, that all changed in size, but this right here, you can see they're different sizes. So I want to set the size for them. And also I need to fix, excuse me, right here, our get user, no, not get user. Yeah, get user. Because it's supposed to look like this, and it doesn't. The user ID isn't showing up there. Also, these should all be the full cosphere.work route for getting this data. Okay, so let's first pull up update user.svelte. This is going to be our example, and get user. Work / API / user / greater than user ID. It's less than, greater than, good. That's a get. And what is it that I need to update here? It is H3, I think, font size. Yeah, that's it. All right, cool. All right, so our get user. That looks good. Next, create user. All I need to do here is add the full route. And H3 should be 18 pixels. Good. User object. There's no. And H3, 18 pixels. Okay, I think that's it. Looks good. Status. Update. Minor style points. Whatever. Alright, I'm gonna call it for today. I'll be on CoSphere later today working on there. But as far as the stream, that's gonna be it for me for today. So, yeah, that's it, and I'll catch you later.